Well, folks, in today's video, we're going to be getting to repair an absolutely fantastic locomotive. This vintage New Haven Tyco E7, I think it is. Anyway, this locomotive was sent in by a gentleman named Charles Cummings. He sent this with a whole bunch of other locomotives. And I was so excited when I took this thing out of the box. There was actually two of them. I've already fixed up one, but I saved this one because I suspect that this one's going to be a bit more difficult because, as I remember, it would not pick up power. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying to fix this one. Hopefully we can get it working. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so let's begin by setting this unit up on the tracks. Hopefully we'll be able to figure out exactly what's wrong with it. I remember this, but you can already see there's clearly something wrong with the gearbox. But in any case, let's give this thing some power. We appear to have a working light, but nothing from the motor. So this thing is clearly going to need some help before it can be out running on its own power again. So let's begin here. To start off, we'll actually take the motor out of its shell here. And on these old Tycos, you just stick a screwdriver under here and you can take out these two tabs here, which actually hold the unit inside. And just like that, it's all free. And we kind of... There we are. And then I get this off. Usually if we just kind of squeeze it in and sort of twist it, it will come off as it does. And, well, what we can see right here is there's why the gearbox is freewheeling. Here, I'll try to turn this with my fingers. You see the metal pivot gear right here is not turning with the rest of the motor. So, yeah, basically that's our main problem. Having said that, the motor doesn't seem to be getting any power, although I suspect that this is the problem. You see that right there? We got a lead that goes absolutely nowhere, so that might be the explanation of one problem of why this isn't getting power, and this might be why it's not going. So, yeah, in any case, though, you can see there's a lot of old grease here, so we're going to take this thing apart anyway, because it clearly needs to have a little bit of an overhaul here. Yeah, a little bit of old grease, but nothing too severe. I've seen so much worse. I've seen units like this where they're absolutely packed with hair and whatnot, and yeah, it can really be quite something there. So yeah, I'm quite thankful that it's not that. Now, a lot of people, including Dirty Dan's model trains there, and Pete Monster 62 have been expressing a bit of concern about how I take up these gears, and Pete Monster suggested that to take up this gear, what I should do is try to get a X-Acto blade under the gear here. Just use that to pull up and hopefully not break the pivot. Yeah, that one wasn't too hard to take off anyway, but yeah, not a bad strategy. So there's all of that, and now we get to do the exciting part, which is open up the motor and see what all the workings in there are looking like. I'm really unsure. We have no idea how long that wire has been undone. This thing may have not run in, who knows, 20 years? Could be any number of time, really. Not before, I think this thing would have been made in about the 80s, though, so somewhere from when it was made to now. So, yeah. There are both of those screws. Now, let's take up this. Of course, we're going to be careful to try to not lose the springs. Huh, this all looks very good. Look at that. Clean commutator. And how are our springs looking there? Let's have a look at those. There's one. Seems a little stuck. Let's try to help that out there. Yeah, our springs are all right too. This motor is in pretty good shape, I have to say. I'm just going to put those up here as to attempt not to lose them. And now for this, I'm just going to take this out because I'm going to go scrub this whole thing right here. And yeah, when we come back, we'll reassemble it all. So yeah, let's get to that. Alright, so we got those parts all cleaned up. They all came out pretty good, actually. You can see all these gears and stuff like that are all fairly clean now. And I also cleaned up the armature. It was already pretty clean, but honestly, just giving it that extra little cleaning really did polish it up. And the coils on this motor, usually these are like really kind of burnt looking, but these ones, you can see, are quite shiny. So this motor is in really good condition, which gives me a lot of confidence about reassembling it. So yeah. Anyway, to start off here, I guess we'll begin by putting the motor back together. We'll just put some oil in there, and as always, you really don't need much. So there's that. Now the fun part, well, I say that in essence. Hopefully this one won't be too difficult, but a lot of the time these are quite difficult to put the springs back in on. Let's try it out here. Let's first of all try to get this plate off. Sort of tilt it up here. I would argue that this is probably the worst part of working on these power torques. Cleaning the gears and stuff like that, I quite enjoy that, but getting the springs and brushes back in there, can be a bit of a challenge. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put a little bit of oil in this bearing. We really don't want to put really any more than that. You see how I barely put any, and the reason for that is because as this spins, what you do not want to happen is for all of this oil that you've put on here to go spraying out onto the commutator under there. So that's why I kind of just recommend really not putting a whole lot. I think it's these shorter ones that go in here, so we'll put one of them in here just to hold all the rest of it in. And yeah. So there's that. Now here comes the interesting part. So we'll take a spring right here. And just drop it in like so. And then we follow that up with one of these little devils here. Now we just need to get this on. I suspect if we kind of just tilt this at a little bit of an angle, this might help us out there. Well, there's one. Okay, that didn't go too bad in my opinion. Let's get that other screw in there and we can begin the rest of the reassembly. Well, folks, it seems that our new locomotive is all complete. Why don't we take this thing over the track and see if it runs or not? Alright, so let's get this thing all set up on the track here and see if she rolls or not. Hey, look at that! We've got a runner! Wow. That's running really well for a Tyco. Look at her go. Alright, so that's 12 volts right there. That's about what you want to be running these things at. Thought I'd position the light a little better. It doesn't seem to be shining through too much, but I'm pretty content with that. It seems to be running quite well. Let's see, what's our low speed like? This is an old Tyco, so I don't expect anything too over the top. For an old Tyco, that's really good. Check that out. What is this? Wow. This might be the best running Tyco I have in my entire collection. I mean, this is a 3-pole motor and it's doing that. It's not flawless, but still, that's pretty good. Well, what a restoration. I'm very happy with how that all turned out. So anyway, I think I'm going to finish off the video now. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I want to give a very big thanks to Charles Cummings for sending this locomotive. It really is a great locomotive, and yeah, I'm so happy with how it turned out. I've never seen a Tyco run quite so well in my life. So yeah, with that, I want to thank you all so much for watching.